empathy and compassion. Do you think those are elements that are important in maintaining confidence as a leader today?
Yeah. And, empathy, I break it into three things: head, heart, hands. Head empathy is like understanding from a cognitive level what a person is going through, right? That's the typical empathy that people experience, right? You mentally can understand what they're going through, what they're experiencing. And then the heart part is like you actually feel it. You feel that like connection. Maybe it happened to you. So it's like you really are connected to it. And that's a deeper level of empathy. And then there's the hands part, which is the compassion aspect, which is like doing something about it. As a leader, for example, if you see a person struggling, you can identify that mentally, and then you can connect with it through your heart, because you can say like, man, like, well, I remember that happened to me once. And then the hands part of empathy is I'm gonna go help that person. Let me show them, guide them, support them, speak to them. So take action on it. This level of empathy in which I teach is probably the most important piece of leadership. It's the foundation of everything else that comes from that.
Well, as usual, let's kick this off with a quote. True leadership is calm in chaos, confident in uncertainty, and human in a world run by machines. Carlos, leaders today face challenges no generation has before. Let's break down how confidence and leadership really show up in the new world. What does confident leadership mean to you, and how is it different from just being in charge?
Where did you get the quote from?
You
have the source for that?
Yeah.
That's a long one. That's a very long quote. There's so much there. I think leaders always facing the biggest challenge in their day and age, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Going back, when it's always going to be the biggest challenge, right? So I think the first thing is realizing that this isn't the first time, it's just another time. And that as leaders from the beginning of time, leaders have always figured a way to get through things, challenges in life, and have had to adapt and incorporate new things. And the most important thing is when you talk about new things, it's not like the actual, the AI or the automation or the robots. That's a part of it. It's the mindset, really, that's the most difficult thing. So as leaders, it's helping the people that follow you, people that you serve, develop a mindset to be able to embrace the change and the newness and the evolution of who we are. And that's always happened. And so, leaders have always had to do that. So it's the same thing. But it's also important that the leaders are doing the work on themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing. And so part of that is being a lifelong learner and being able to work with other leaders to figure things out. So,
why is confidence so central to leadership, especially when people are looking to leaders during uncertain times?
Yeah, confidence is very important for leadership, but leaders aren't necessarily very confident all the time. And there's leaders in this world who are leaders by title and they lead countries that really aren't confident internally, right? It's like the outside.
Yeah, going back, see them.
yeah. It's like going back to that, right? The outside looks like they are. They pretend like they are. They do all the things they need to maintain that, but deep down inside, they're not. So, for the leadership position, it's depending on what kind of leader you want to be. It's very important, but it's not the only thing, right? But if you want to be a great leader and you want to truly help people and inspire people and help to leave the world better than when you came into it, leave it better than when you found it, then yeah, you need to have some confidence, because you're going to be challenged, you're going to be tested, you're going to have to grow, you're going to have to accept responsibility, you're going to have to also be willing to be humble enough to say that you don't know something and you need help. So so it takes confidence to be able to do that. So yeah, you need that for sure if you want to be a great leader.
Today, many leaders deal with techno stress, constant emails, Zoom calls, social media, AI tools, digital overload, basically. How does that affect confidence?
Yeah, techno stress. I like that. It sounds like technology stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely technology stress, right? Because think about it. You get emails, you get uh, WhatsApps, you
Yeah.
get messages, you get Instagram notifications, you get all this stuff that you have to respond to. That's just a flooding it. So it's tech the stress is real, and leaders especially. Imagine like I can only imagine like I don't have a huge company, but I get all kind of stuff from people that are on our team all the time. Things that you got to deal with right then and there, no matter what. It's like you can't really. Sometimes I'm in the car driving and I literally have to pull over to handle something because it's that urgent.
Right.
And then you have to shift multiple different ways and respond to things. So you're constantly being influxed with things. So yeah, it's definitely stressful. And the way that I deal with it is, in terms of confidence, is I just have to continue. I have to be able to learn um, a little bit of everything. I have to be able to, for example, something that I may know nothing about, like a new system that we're running from my company. We're about to start. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
It's technology. It's complicated, but my team feels like it'd be the best thing for us. Like I got to learn a little bit about that because I need to know like how I'm going to be able to communicate through there and how am I going to use it, or I don't want to just not know what's happening, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
so I have to have confidence to say that, okay, this thing looks very difficult, but I'm going to figure it out, and I know I can figure it out because I'm confident enough to know that I can learn and that I have the growth mindset to do it, no matter how intimidating it is. So yeah, you have to have that confidence so that you can continue to learn and keep up with the changes in the world.
How have you personally handled overwhelming high pressure environments, and what lessons can leaders apply to the digital age today?
Yeah. Well, my biggest high pressure environments were like a lot more difficult than most leaders face today. When I was in prison, it's like that level of pressure, and because I was in a leadership position in prison,
Yeah.
as you know, I was a shot caller, and so that level of like stress and just environment is a completely different state than out here. Your life is on the line, and
And others, right?
and
Like you're
others, yeah.
preventing wars within the prison yard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a whole different level. So I kind of, and in business, it's somewhat similar because people's also livelihoods are on the line,
Right.
and their mental, um, their mental health and all these things are on the line and stuff. So it's somewhat similar, but for me, in the most difficult of times, it's kind of just having this thing, and I do it now, that like just gonna do my best. I'm gonna do the best I can do. And if I can, at the end of the day, say I did that, then whatever happens, it's really out of my control. But if I'm not doing my best, if I'm not being the best version of myself, then it's going to take more of a toll on me because I'm going to have that guilt and regret that I wasn't better. And so that's why every day it's so important as a leader to continue to develop and grow and become better and try to always kind of think steps ahead on how you can get better. So you start to explore new things. Like I started to get into meditation, and that helped a lot. I started to get into breath work, and I started to get into all kind of other practices, sound baths and all these different things. But it was like I had to
Yeah.
be confident enough to get out of my comfort zone and go do that because
Yeah.
I knew that, okay, if that can help me a little bit, then to be a better leader, then that's going to help everybody else.
Right.
So you have to always be doing that.
When leaders themselves are stressed, how can they still project real confidence to their teams without faking it?
I don't know. I think it's okay to be open about stress. Like
Yeah.
with me and my team, I don't really show it and I don't really say it all the time. But if
Yeah.
I'm going through something, I'll express it in a way. Like I'll express it like, oh, I had a difficult time with this and I've been struggling with that. but there's always but this is what I'm doing to fix it. This is what I'm doing to overcome it. This is what I did to help me get through it, or this is the step I chose to take now to fix that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's okay with being vulnerable and as a leader, but but there's also, you have to, what are you going to do about it, right? It's not just, oh, I'm just complaining and I'm stressed and all.
Right.
You can't do that. Like you have to
Because you're
have
the leader.
yeah, you have to be solution based.
Oriented,
So,
yeah. What role does vulnerability play here? Can a leader admit they're overwhelmed and still be just as confident?
Yeah, it's just how you do it.
Sure.
It's how you do it. Like anything in life, you could admit you're going through pain, and that's that's a normal human feeling. Or you're going through insecurity, and it's a normal human feeling. But again, it's how you're doing. Are you being strong in the face of it? Are you like, okay, I'm going through a lot right now, but I'm going to get through it. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to figure out how to do it better. And I'm going to figure out, or I'm going to be strong for the people that need me. It's like going to, it's like, you go to a funeral, right? Who are you at the funeral? Are you the person that's off in the corner crying? Are you the person that's causing, disruption, because you want to argue with the other side of the family? Or are you a strong person that's going to show up and be there for everybody to help them get through it? That's what a leader does. And so that's the type of mentality you have to have.
Why do you believe purpose-driven confidence is more important now than ever, especially in a world shaped in technology?
Purpose-driven confidence is...
And can you break that down for us? Yeah.
So purpose-driven confidence is understanding like your mission, your personal mission in life, not just the mission of the company and the organization that you may run, or because even if you don't have an organization you run, everybody should have a personal mission in life. Like everybody should be like their own, startup, their own business, right? Like you should have a personal mission that you live, that you every day that you're going out there to pursue. Your vision, it's like the dream where you want to get to, right? And the values, which are the things that you make day-to-day decisions based on. Your character and all that stuff, and your the culture is like the character, right? It's who you are. So that is like what purpose-driven confidence is like knowing that you have identified all that within yourself, and then you have a mission, a purpose, a goal to aspire to do, and you're confident on your pursuit of it because you are actively engaging and learning more about it. You're actively, like say you could be an expert in it already. Like there's certain things that I feel very confident along my journey and my purpose. There's things I feel really confident about, like just naturally, and it's like that's that part of like purpose-driven confidence is like some things I'm just very confident in, no matter what happens, what situation. I get a call tomorrow and I'll be confident I could do that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what that is. But it's also knowing that some things that I'm not confident in, that I have the confidence enough to say, okay, I'm not really good at that. I'm not really confident in that. So I need to work on that.
Sure.
So that's what it's all about. It's always like a back. It's like, it's never just, you never hit a point where you're just confident in everything.
Right.
Like it's always like you get confident in this, but then this new thing or this new idea, or this new thing, like you're not as confident. So you got to build on that, and you're constantly doing that throughout your life.
Like a juggling act.
Yeah.
And like when you're confident in one aspect of your life, but then let's say personally there's things going on. Let's say you're going through a divorce or something like that. Do you think it's okay in the business environment to reveal that to your team, that you're going through something, for instance, a divorce or whatever it may be, and still maintain that level of confidence at the same time?
Yeah, I think it just depends. I don't think it's something that you just promote to everybody that you
Right.
know, or like just make an announcement of it. But if a person that you have made a connection with comes up to you and wants to talk to you about it, it's your choice. I mean, they have to respect if you want to talk about it or not, but I think you should feel comfortable to be able to open up about that stuff if it's somebody you feel you can open up about that stuff to. right? Because a part of confidence too, as a leader, is being able to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about that. So it's not just all about being vulnerable and telling everything, and all. Like, you have to set your boundaries and know when to be okay with doing something and when not to.
Yeah.
And that's a personal journey for a leader, and on how much they want to share and how much they don't.
Sure.
Mhm.
If you were mentoring a young leader today, what's the number one piece of advice you'd give them about staying confident in the age of techno stress?
I would say, don't try to like overwhelm yourself too much with too much at one time. I mean, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid technology. You can't avoid AI. In some way, it's going to be a part of what you do. Eventually, if it's not already, you're going to be having to learn new things and new systems and new processes. If you're growing and you want to be successful and you don't want your organization to die, then you're going to have to. So I would say, but be very limited on what you try to consume at one time. Don't try to pursue too many things. Just learn one thing at a time, and get help on the journey to learn these things. Hire great people around you that are experts in those areas, and have them teach you a little bit about it, and then let them kind of take over. But have them teach you just enough so that you can communicate with them about it. And it's always about just surrounding yourself with great people, because nobody could do it alone. So in this time of AI and change and automation and all these things, and I know guys in manufacturing companies who are like telling me, very soon, their whole company will be replaced by robots.
Wow.
So it's like,
Change is coming.
yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do they deal with that? And you deal with it by being a compassionate leader and an empathetic leader, and communicating very well, and helping people who are in roles that may be replaced to upskill into doing something else, supporting them on their development. That's important. And just a lot of people think that there's, all these CEOs and leaders of companies are like bad people that just, when things happen, they just fire everybody and they let people go because they're being replaced. And it's like, no, I know many of leaders and CEOs who are like all about, they're working hard right now to figure out how they can take their employees and upskill them to learn so that they can still have a role in the company when that position they have is fulfilled by a robot. So they're actively doing that. And so just like, because they're good leaders, they understand that they're going to do everything in their power to help that. But it also takes the individual to want to help themselves. And so a lot of the people that complain about things are the people that just don't want to help themselves.
Yeah.
They want to be the ones to blame everybody else. But there's people that are like, okay, change is happening and I need to learn and adapt with it, and I'm going to do the work. And so, as a leader, it's hard, but I think that if you just focus in on one thing at a time, then it just makes things easier. It doesn't
Yeah.
make it easy, but it makes it easier.
You touched on two important things, empathy and compassion. Do you think those are two key elements or elements that are important in maintaining confidence as a leader today?
Yeah, and empathy, I break it into three things: head, heart, hands. Head empathy is like understanding from a cognitive level what a person is going through, right? That's the typical empathy that people experience, right? You mentally can understand what they're going through, what they're experiencing. And then the heart part is like you actually feel it. You feel that like connection, and it's like feels if that maybe it happened to you. So it's like you really are connected to it. And that's a deeper level of empathy. And then there's the hands part, which is the compassion aspect, which is like doing something about it. Like actually, as a leader, for example, if you see a person struggling, you can identify that mentally. And then you can connect with it through your heart, because you can say like, man, like, well, I remember that happened to me once. And then the hands part of empathy is I'm going to go help that person. Let me show them, guide them, support them, speak to them. So take action on it. And so this level of empathy in which I teach, is probably the most important piece of leadership. It's the foundation of everything else that comes from that. And so, yeah, you have to really be empathetic when you're a leader.
That's beautiful. How can leaders help their teams or communities build confidence and resilience when everyone feels digitally burnt out?
Well, I don't know if everybody feels digitally burnt out. I don't. Maybe a little overwhelmed sometimes, but not burnt out. I love technology.
Yeah.
Like it gives me energy and it
Yeah.
fuels me, and I love it. It's very powerful, and I've learned so much from it. Like I wouldn't be where I'm at today had it not been for technology. I was able to cut the learning curve down by extreme, measure, and I didn't have time to go to a university or to go get my MBA or to do any of that. I didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
I've only been out 4 years, but with technology and my willingness and ability and hunger for learning, I feel like that I know so much. And so
You cut that learning curve.
yeah, and so for me, but I totally get it that people do burn out, and I think that as a leader, it's really just not even about the technology. It's about just helping people develop skills that then help them live healthy lives. I just read something recently that companies that like promoted and practiced like health and well-being and wellness, there was like a huge incline in people who called in sick and turnover. So if you're a leader, you should be investing in your people, and not just like through leadership training, also like bringing in people to do meditation and bringing in people to do like wellness stuff to help the individual be better so that they can practice it outside of work. Because if they're great and they have these tools and they're healthy and mentally they're good and they're safe and they feel they are supported outside of work by their organization or whoever you are, whatever you do, then they're going to show up more. They're going to produce more. They're going to be more efficient. All these things come from that. And it's not just a training, it's a lifestyle. So you have to teach people and introduce them to different things. And that's why I love the way the world is going today, where people are investing in that for their teams and doing like these retreats and bringing in experts to teach them different ways that they can develop their mindset or become more present or, or develop more empathy. Like all these things are critical when you're a leader to share and to also do. So.
All right. Final question, Carlos. If you could leave leaders with one final thought about embodying confidence in today's tech-driven world, what would it be?
One more message for them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would have to say, with all the things coming with the changes in technology and AI and automation and sensors and all these things, with all that's coming, and it's coming very fast, don't forget what worked in the past for you. So, for example, like reading transformed my life, reading books. And I feel like as I get deeper and deeper into the free world from prison, I've been reading less books. But I always have to like remind myself to go back to that, because even though, reading a book, now they have all these different apps and things that that you can do outside of that, which work. You can listen to things,
Audible,
you can have podcasts, you can do all these different things, but it's never forgetting like where you start, what helped you really become a great leader in the beginning. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget that, and don't lose that, because sometimes, and I truly believe this, sometimes it's simple is the best answer. Sometimes it's just simple, and so when I want to learn something new, I know if I read 6 books on it, then I'll know more about that subject than 90% of the world. So
thank you, Carlos, for this conversation.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for listening all the way to the end of the episode. I wanted to just give a quick shout out to the sponsors for this podcast in terms of like them allowing us to use their space at Legendary Foods at the Legendary Studios. Want to give a shout out to them for that. They're amazing product. Also, want to say that if you're interested in a free PDF version of my book, Warrior in the Garden: 7 Rules for Men, there'll be a link in the description that you can click to get that, as well as to sign up for our weekly newsletter. And I'm always giving new advice and new guidance to help you get through life's challenges, and always keeping you up to date on the new things that we're doing, How to Battle and my company. And so I just want to say thank you for being here and listening. And please remember to subscribe.